So, after Masonic culture has debased humanity, how does it plan to induce humanity to give itself over to the faded impressions of generosity and self-sacrifice? On page 117 of Morals and Dogma, Albert Pike still talking to the 12th degree, we find this quote: "The religious faith thus taught by Masonry is indispensable to the attainment of the great ends of life, and must therefore have been designed to be a part of it. We are made for this faith." So he is saying the religious faith of Masonry was designed to be a part of human life, and that humanity was made for this faith. He goes on to say, and there must be something somewhere for us to believe in. We cannot grow healthfully nor live happily without it. It is therefore true. If we could cut off from any soul all the principles taught by Masonry, the faith in a God, in immortality, in virtue, and essential rectitude, that soul would sink into sin, misery, and darkness and ruin. If we could cut off all sense of these truths, the man would sink at once to the grade of an animal. And on page 118 he says, we must of necessity embrace the great truths taught by Masonry and live by them to live happily. So what he's saying is, the faith of Masonry must be embraced by all of humanity to live by them. And to live happily, humanity must embrace the faith of Masonry. Remember, it was Albert Pike who said in this quote, that which we must say to the crowd is we worship a God, but it is the God one adores without superstition. To you, sovereign grand inspector general, we say this, and you may repeat it to the brethren of the 32nd, 31st, and 30th degree. The Masonic religion should be by all of us initiates of the high degrees maintained in the purity of the Luciferian doctrine, he says. Yes, he says, Lucifer is God, he says, and unfortunately Adonai or Adonai is also God. Thus, the doctrine of Satanism is heresy, and the true and pure philosophical religion is the belief of Lucifer, he says. The equal of Adonai, he says. But Lucifer, God of light and God of good, is struggling for humanity against Adonai, he says, the God of darkness and evil. On page 118 of Morals and Dogma, we find this quote from Pike. I put my trust in God is the protest of Masonry against the belief in a cruel, angry, and revengeful God to be feared and not reverenced by his creatures. No wonder Jay-Z made this statement.
For the record, I of course believe in God, but I believe in one God. If people must know my religious beliefs, I believe in one God. I don't believe in religion. I don't believe in Christians or Muslims. I think all that separates people. I think it's one God. I think it's all the same God, and I don't believe in hell. But as far as God, of course I believe in God. And am I a part of some type of sect or cult? That sounds stupid to me. It's like ignorant to even say. And I guess the last time I addressed that.
In the book Masonry Beyond the Light, we find this quote from a 32nd degree Mason. And he says, Albert Pike had only specified and unveiled the dogmas of the high grades of all other masonries. For in no matter what rite, the great architect of the universe is not the God worshipped by the Christians. So the religious doctrine of Masonry is Luciferianism. This is what humanity is choosing to embrace.